This morning, when I looked out into the garden through the kitchen window, the steam from the tea glass in my hand brushed against my face. I'm 75 years old. 75. When I say that number out loud, it still feels strange, like I'm talking about someone else. The pear tree in the garden is older than I am. When I was 10, it was already bearing fruit. Now we're both still here. We've both bent a little with time, but we're still standing. Maybe that's why I look at it every morning. It feels good to remember it was here before me. 75 years is much longer than I ever imagined, but when you live it, it feels so short. Isn't that odd? On a calendar, it's an enormous stretch of time. But in my memory, it's like the blink of an eye. The house used to be full of noise. Children's voices, doors slamming, phones ringing, the clatter of pots and pans while dinner was cooking. Now, just the hum of the refrigerator and my own breathing. But in this quiet, I discovered something. Silence isn't actually silent. It's filled with memories that speak. Sometimes, sitting at the kitchen table in the evening dark, I swear I can hear my daughter's laugh when she was 6. Or my neighbor, who died last year, calling out, "Good morning!" Maybe that's what aging is. The curtain between the past and the present growing thinner. Everything starts to overlap. A lunch in 1972 can feel as close as today's breakfast. When I was young, I wore myself out trying to be somebody important. Succeeding at work, being respected in the neighborhood, being the one who was right in the family. God, how heavy all of that was. Now nobody asks for my opinion anymore. At first, that hurt. Then one day I thought, great, now I have the luxury of being wrong. Being 75 is like wearing an invisibility cloak. People see you, but they don't really look. And you know what? It's an incredible kind of freedom. I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore. I'm not performing. I'm just here. Last week at the market, a young woman noticed me while she was picking out a melon. "How do I choose a sweet one?" she asked. I showed her and said, "Listen to the smell." She smiled and thanked me. That was it. One of the greatest gifts of my life, sharing a small bit of knowledge, a small kindness. I don't need anything else. It's been 7 years since I lost my spouse. The first year was hell. The second year, too. By the third year, the pain changed. I didn't feel like it was my enemy anymore. It became a kind of companion, like a bridge that kept tying me back to every day we spent together. Now I've learned how to carry the grief. In the mornings when I make coffee, I see their empty cup. I don't cry anymore. I just nod to myself. "You were here," I say. How lucky I was. People treat grief like an illness, something that's supposed to go away. But at 75, you learn that grief is really just another form of love. If I hadn't loved them, I wouldn't miss them this much. So carrying this grief is simply another way of continuing to love them. I watch young people at the supermarket. They're staring at their phones. They've got their lists. They're in a hurry, and I can see it. Most of them are lost. They know where they're going, but they don't know why. They know what they're buying, but they don't know what actually matters. Saying that might sound like an old man sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. But I was the same way. At 35, at 50, even at 60, I was running, but I didn't know what I was chasing. Now I do. The thing we're chasing is already here. It's in the tea glass in our hands, in the eyes of the person across from us, in the wind coming through the window. But to see it, you have to stop. And stopping is terrifying, because when you stop, you finally see yourself. All my life, I tried to finish myself, to be a better person, a more perfect father, a more successful worker. There was always this feeling that something was missing. By the time I turned 75, I understood that feeling of missing something wasn't a lie. I really was incomplete. We all are. And that's not a problem. I'm a story that isn't finished. Some chapters were wonderful, some were awful, and some I've forgotten. But before the book closes, not every chapter has to be perfect. My grandson said to me the other day, "Grandpa, when you were young, everything was simpler, right?" I laughed. "No," I told him. "It was just as complicated. I just know now that it doesn't matter as much." Of course I have regrets. Who's lying when they say they don't? I regret not taking that job. I turned to town because I was afraid of failing. I regret never telling that girl how I felt, years before I met my spouse. Sometimes I wonder if my life would have turned out differently. I regret not talking to my father more. He was 62 when he died. I'm 75 now, and I can't even picture him at my age. He was so young. Back then I thought he was old. But my biggest regret is this. I spent my life waiting for the next thing. I kept telling myself I'll be happy when. A promotion, retirement, having grandkids. I was always waiting for what came next. Now I understand. Happiness wasn't the next thing. It was always right here, right now. Waking up every morning is a miracle. It really is. After 75 years, you finally understand that. I open my eyes, I can breathe, I can see the sun through the window. Those aren't ordinary things, they're gifts. Last week, a woman fell to the ground. A young woman, rushed, talking on her phone. She fell. I helped her up, and as she stood, she said, "Oh my God, how embarrassing. I'm so sorry." I held her hand and said, "Falling isn't shameful. What's shameful is not seeing each other." These are the small miracles. Making eye contact with a stranger, the neighbor's cat slipping into my garden to lie in the sun, the taste of the first bite when you eat bread. They're small things, but I don't call them small anymore. They're life itself. I'm not afraid of death. That sounds strange to people. "How can you not be afraid?" they ask. This is how I think about it. 75 years ago, I didn't exist. Then I did. And someday, I won't again. But for this stretch of time, I'm here, and that's an incredible kind of luck. Death isn't an enemy. It's just the next turn in the road. Maybe there's something there, maybe there's nothing. But I've been here for 75 years, and it's been enough. Of course I would want more, but if there isn't more, that's okay. My gratitude is already full. Sometimes I think, I've already died 75 times. The baby I was is gone. The 7-year-old me is gone. The 20-year-old me, the 45-year-old me, they're all gone. And I'm still here, just as another version of myself. Maybe death is like that too, just moving on to the next version.
If you're young and you're reading this, there's only one thing I want to tell you. Slow down. I know it sounds cliché. You're thinking, here comes the old man telling me to enjoy life. But I'm serious. In the middle of any moment, pause. Now, right this second. What are you holding? What do you feel? Who's beside you? This moment will not come again, ever. I've lived 75 years. And I can tell you I missed 90% of life because I spent it trying to be somewhere else. Now I look back and think, I wish I had been there more. Every morning I look at that pear tree in the garden. It taught me something. Life will go on whether you're here or not. The tree will keep giving fruit. Children will keep playing. The sun will keep rising. But while you're here, choose to be here. Because this moment right now is the only thing that's real. I'm 75. My hands shake now. My memories blur. My future is short. But my gratitude for every day I've lived so far is endless. And if tomorrow were my last day, I'd look at the pear tree through the kitchen window, sip my tea, and smile. Because this place, this world, this life was a beautiful one. If these words reach you, then I'm glad. Maybe you have a story to share too. Whether you're 75 or 25, it doesn't matter. We all carry some kind of wisdom. Will you share yours with me? In the comments, what's the most valuable thing you've learned? Reading it would make me feel less alone.